Hello, 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 sellers. It's Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, sellers. Come on in. This is such a hot topic. I'm like, I need to live stream on this because I'm seeing a lot of posts, and we want to get down to what the truth is. So, this live stream, this video, is all about the shocking news about eBay seller buyer feedback because there seems to be changes rolling out. And we're going to deep dive on it. We're going to see what's going on because it is shocking because it just happened. But let's see what's really going on, see if we can get down to the bottom of it, and then strategize about what you can and cannot do. Okay. So what happened is, and just to give a little backstory, is eBay, gosh, like 6-7 months ago, announced that they were going to be doing changes to feedback. Okay. And feedback, the whole feedback system. So it's feedback left for sellers and feedback left for buyers. And in the last seller check-in, Andrea Stairs, who is the head of Global Trust, spoke about this and said that there were changes coming. And it's been on the eBay community board on the announcement without a great deal of detail, but just saying there was going to be some changes made. A lot of sellers just seems to be a bit of an uptake with negative feedback and frustrations with getting negative feedback removed. The criteria for negative feedback moved, but there seems to be a lot of issues going on with feedback for people. So eBay is making real effort to really sort of overhaul the whole system. And my understanding, I actually met with the head of feedback, gosh, within the last month because they came to my meetup group in New York. There's just a lot of work going on with this. But let's take a look at what's going on right now, because you need to be aware of what's going on right now and then what you can do about it. So this article came out, and this is not ebay.com. So let's just, let's keep all of this in mind. But this article on value added resource about the new feedback page design, removing critical visibility from buyers and sellers. And what they noted, let me get to the article. I've got a bunch of screens open. Here we go. And I'm just going to scroll down, and thank you, Liz Morton, for publishing this, this is the old format, or the format most of us are used to, which is when you click over to a buyer, and you're a seller. So the real concern on these changes is how it affects sellers. Okay. So, it's not showing me scrolling. Hang on a second. I may have to pull out and pull back. Hang on a second. Is that we're not able to see the feedback that our potential buyers, because I went into a second page. That's why. Sorry about that. Let me make sure I just have one page opened. Good. I think that should do it. Yes. That we cannot see the feedback they've left for others. So what a lot of my sellers have been messaging me and letting me know is this is a concern for them, because when they, for instance, get an offer from somebody for their item, or question about their item, like, will you take a little bit less money, or will you do this, or will you do that? Maybe they're looking for a shipping discount because they're going to be buying multiple items. Many sellers immediately go and click on the user, right? Smart. And take a look at their feedback. The feedback left for them, also the feedback they left for others. And this is the older format. And what people were reporting, what Liz is reporting in this article, is this is changing. Okay. So what I did, and I encourage you to do this, is to go and look for yourself. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples on this, because sometimes when eBay rolls things out, I'm trying to think of something recently. When they rolled out the background remover to desktop, various things that they roll out, sometimes what will happen, the seller social share tool was rolled out, which means some sellers had it and then they rolled out to more and more and more and more. And this often happens. And the reason they do that is they're sort of testing the impact, getting feedback as they continue to roll it out, perhaps making some changes. I believe the send offers to buyers, they did that too. And it basically protects the platform because they're rolling it out bit by bit, and they're sort of seeing how things go before they do a massive rollout. Hi, Sharon, how are you? So that's the reason why. So thank you, Liz, and Value Added Resource for bringing to this attention. And this is what I found. It's very interesting. So first off, one, eBay could be rolling this out. Two, it could be what's called an A/B test, which is a certain amount of sellers, and they have their criteria for picking maybe certain categories or certain volume or how long you're on the platform. But a certain amount of sellers will see and receive one thing, and then another set receives another thing. This is very normal on retail platforms, advertising platforms. Different people see different things, and then they see which one works better, which one gets a better conversion rate, more buyer satisfaction. So there's a lot of things that could be going on. So one, it could be rolling out, which is why not everybody sees it. Two, it could be an A/B test. Certain sellers see this, certain sellers see this, certain buyers see this, certain buyers see that. Because this is what I found. And please, everybody, test this for yourself, report back, comment underneath this, okay? This is on my Facebook business page, I Love to Be Selling, as a video. It'll be on my YouTube channel, Kathy Terrell, I Love to Be Selling, and you'll also be able to catch it as a podcast, Kathy Terrell, I Love to Be Selling. Please comment, please message me. I read all my messages, it's me. Sometimes I do take a day or two, so be patient with me. I do get a lot of messages, so just hang on. But let me just show you what I found. Sharon saying she doesn't see it yet. Yep, that's what I wanted to point out. So what I did was I literally looked at 9 different eBay stores, okay? And Sharon, I'm going to caution you, so test this. You want to look at stores that are not your store, because on your store, if you have an eBay store, you will see feedback that you left as a buyer, feedback you left as a seller, okay, on your store, because it's your view when you're logged in as yourself. This is my friend Eleanor, okay? So I'm logged in as me, and I'm looking at Eleanor. And when I look at Eleanor, this is what I see. I only see feedback left for her as a seller. I do, and she's a friend, so I know she shops on eBay. I do not see any of her feedback as a buyer, okay? And so I'm going, this is different. Now, what some people were mentioning to me is, Kathy, I want to know the country of origin, which is where you're registered for eBay, and how long you've been on the platform. Because somebody might not, for instance, let's say I'm buying from Sharon, and let's say I've been on the platform for like 10 years, but I might not have a lot of feedback because I don't shop on eBay all the time. Maybe I only shop on eBay once or twice a month. Then shocking as this seems, and then I take a break for 3 or 4 months. Maybe I only shop at Christmas time. Maybe I only shop in the summer. So I may not have a ton of feedback, but I'm a very reputable buyer. I've been around a long time. I just don't shop that often. So if they have an eBay store, this is what I found. And please, 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 I encourage you to go and look for yourself. If they have an eBay store, okay, part of an eBay store, and we're going to scroll up on Eleanor. See, it says categories. That's her store categories. Then it says shop, okay, which means I'm going to go shop with her. And then it says about. When you click, and let me see if it'll click over to that, click the about section for somebody with an eBay store. Okay, they must have, it could be store of any level. This will show. Now, she's got some stuff put in about her collectibles. Great that you want to look at that. What you're looking for is location. And I did a snap poll very quickly in one of my Facebook groups. Thank you, eBay Selling people, in my eBay Selling group. And so far, everybody reports that if they have a store, their location shows United States and the year they joined. Okay. This is under about. So it's not under feedback. It's under about. Okay. So do I get to see her feedback as a buyer? No. But I can look at where she is and how long she's been on the platform. Why eBay's taken this away from eBay store owners, I don't know. And certainly you can send eBay feedback. And if you don't know that, you can go through Facebook and leave them feedback. You can go through Instagram and leave them feedback. Also, don't forget that when you're on these various pages, Often there's a pop-up, give us feedback. What do you think? Click it. Tell them, I want the feedback for this person as a buyer. Tell them. The teams read it. I'm going to, bad news is they're not necessarily going to message you back, but they do read it. And I've heard this from team after team after team. And frankly, they just don't have the time to message everybody back. But if your feedback is interesting enough, you might get a message back. So I always leave my email. I got no problem with them contacting me back. Okay. So for eBay stores, no. And I looked at 10 stores. I looked at a variety of stores, and I looked at stores that I know I've bought from and stores I know I haven't bought from. And for my friend Joe DeMarco, Hubcap Joe, he's eBay Motors. So I checked him to see if anything's different on eBay Motors. No. For Joe, there was only feedback that he left as a seller. Okay. So this is what I have spotted for the store format. And I looked at all different size stores. I looked at people that sell different kinds of things. This is what I found. Now, this is the interesting part. So then I looked at people without a store. So if you do not have a store on eBay, so of course there we go. You're called a consumer account on eBay, right? Because you don't have a store. When I looked at consumer accounts on eBay, and let me pull one up, what I found, now again, remember, they could be A/B testing. Okay, keep that in mind. Is this the one I want to look at? Well, we might as well look at it. If it's not, we'll know. Yes, yay, okay. So, consumer account, and you can see, not a heavy user of eBay, but I looked at people with, like over 100 feedback. On a consumer account, a non-store account, I am able to see all received as buyer, received as seller, and left for others. And I'm bringing this up because it seems to be a big concern for a lot of people. And this particularly can be a concern for new sellers, okay, is that you want to go and check out your prospective buyer. So if they do not have a store, again, eBay could be A/B testing. They could be rolling out. But as of July 29th, 2024, again, I looked at I believe it was 6 eBay stores. I did this quickly. But I looked at like 8, 9 consumer accounts. I mean, I looked at all different kinds of consumer accounts, and this is what I found. For now, again, July 29th, 2024, I did not see a consumer account with what I saw for the stores. So what this gets me thinking, and again, we haven't heard from eBay. And if you don't know, eBay reports their earnings July 31st. And what can happen sometimes before earnings is eBay gets very, very quiet. And it's just because they're going to release their earnings. So they don't say a lot publicly necessarily about changes. So this may be something they announce during the earnings call, and then you're going to see it all over the place, or after the earnings call. So this is why we may not hear anything on this. Is my only thought, and you guys let me know what you think, is many times when people are new sellers, what they would do would be they would buy some stuff, so you buy 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 things, or you're a buyer. You're not a seller. This is the way I was when I first started selling on eBay. I wasn't a seller. I was a buyer. So I would, buy a shirt, I buy some socks, I buy a blouse, I buy some earrings, but I wasn't selling. So then I probably had my account for maybe 6 months or a year. Then I started to sell. So I had a certain amount of feedback, but the feedback was as a buyer. It wasn't as a seller. And I think what's been happening, and certainly, we might be encouraging some of our newer sellers saying, hey, you want to get yourself a little bit of feedback. A great way to get a little bit of feedback is go and do some shopping. So it could be that eBay certainly welcomes shopping, right? We all want people to shop on eBay. But what they want is they want that separated, okay? But the interesting thing is they're only separating it for people with a store. So you are perhaps, I'm not saying you're not business-like when you don't have a store, but you're at a different level with your selling. Perhaps you're listing more regularly because that would warrant, having an eBay store. You're listing more regularly. You want access to promotions and sales. So it seems for now, again, this could be an A/B test, that you do not see the feedback as a buyer on the eBay store accounts. You're only seeing it as a seller. But if you're a consumer account, which is a lot of our newer sellers, you can look and still see how much is a buyer, how much is a seller. Because again, oftentimes with a newer account or somebody who's just starting to list, they shop a lot on eBay, right? They shop on eBay, then they might sell some personal possessions, or they bought something on eBay, they used it for a while, and they sold it on eBay, whatever. So that seems to be what's going on now, is that it's changed is the feedback format for the stores. Again, if you're like, I hate this, I don't like it, fine. There's all over eBay. What do you think? Give us feedback, but particularly when you're on that feedback page on the store, okay? That's your feedback landing page for your store. Give them feedback. Click it. Let them know. Go on Facebook. Go on Instagram and let the team know is always the best way, okay? So while we're doing this, it's the middle of July. Back to school is just starting to ramp up. We're looking ahead to fourth quarter. But for some people, summer sales can still be slow. So I've got a tip sheet for you because there's no reason for that. And you can absolutely kick up your summer sales, and I've got help for you. In fact, the people using it have been telling me it has been working like gangbusters for them. So please, please, please hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com, and grab my top 10 tips to ignite your eBay summer sales, because there are things you can do now in July and August to keep the sales coming, to keep your sales strong, to get those cha-chings going. So do hop to my website and grab that. And again, with all these changes going on with the feedback, let me know what you see. Let me know what you think. You're always welcome to comment. I love hearing from all of you, so please do that. And while you're doing it, do yourself a favor and grab the top 10 tips to ignite your eBay summer sales and get some more cha-chings. Great. Okay? I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye, everybody.